Previously on Loki.
So, that's our decision. I'm literally gonna go buy a composting toilet right now, and hopefully it will be delivered.
Need to take measurements and think things through before you go buy it.
Nope, just gonna go buy it.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
All right, what are we doing?
We are just starting at like 7 p.m. on a Friday to tear out the head. I think we're going to start with the toilet portion of it and work our way towards the tank. As long as I can get these bolts out, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. So the toilet sits here and is bolted through this piece, but there's nuts underneath, which is a huge bummer. I'm stuck.
Oh dear.
And then the other thing is just shutting all both through holes where the toilet drains and where it intakes water. I shot the intake so far and flushed a bunch of clean water through, and now I'm going to shut that and we'll just see what happens from there.
Alrighty, sounds good. Let's do it. What was that noise?
Something dropped.
No, where did it go?
Down. Want to help me?
Sure.
Alright. What's up?
Taking this toilet apart. Okay, so we unbolted all of the bolts that attach the toilet to the pedestal, and now we're pulling off the hoses. We just pulled off this one, which is the seawater intake for the wet flush, and we're about to pull off this and this, which I think maybe air intake for the dry flush. That's my uneducated guess. And then there's one more hose that's like this big one that comes out the back here that I believe just goes into the tank. We hacksawed this pipe, and of course seawater started pouring out of it all over the floor, but we got everything out of here, so now all we need to do is pull out the toilet. These hoses that we just hacksawed, are we just going to try to pull them all the way through? They're pretty well in there, and then they go all the way through this cabinet to the other side into the V-berth in here. So, yeah, that'll be pretty tricky. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we just finished cutting out most of these hoses. Toilet's gone. Hoses are at least gone from this cupboard, and I guess now we just kind of keep hacking these hoses away is sort of the next step here until we get to the tank, and then we pull out the tank. Trev's traumatized. Wait, did poo really fling on you?
I don't know, maybe a little.
Oh no.
Well, the saver saw kind of vibrates everything all over the place.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it took like 3 hours or less.
Yeah. So we got all the hoses out, the toilet out, and the pump.
Doesn't sound like very much.
And the valves. It doesn't sound like much, but it was a lot of stuff that came out of there. A lot of stuff came out, you guys. Especially when the saw is going. It just...
Yeah.
Poo. Oh man. Yeah, good time.
Good old-fashioned poo fling.
It's a real shit show at the factory. We have to get the tank out, which shouldn't be too hard, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
And then just put the new toilet in, which is going to be a cakewalk compared to that.
Yeah.
I need to take a shower. So, day 2. What is our plan for today?
Take the holding tank out, and then that should be it for the old system. Then we need to fill the holes that are left over from where the actual toilet was sitting. There's 6 holes from the toilet, and I think a bunch left over from just probably the toilet before that as well. And eventually we want to get a working shower in there, so we need to seal those holes with epoxy and make it waterproof. And then basically just bolt the new AirHead onto that platform. It should be really simple and not take very long. And then figure out how to vent it and wire up the fan for the vent. And that's about it.
Okay, so we pulled out the holding tank. It was tough because basically this hole that the previous owner cut, I think, was like exactly the same size as the tank. So we had to cut a little bit out of the side of it so that the tank would actually fit out, and that probably was what took the longest. But yeah, so check it out. Some nice storage space in there for whatever we may put in there. And so now we just got to get in the new head. Alrighty, so now we just need to fill in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 holes. Trev has just begun to bevel out the insides of them to make them a little more conical so that the epoxy sits in there better. And then we're going to acetone all the holes, fill them in with epoxy, and maybe glass over the top with epoxy also. Hopefully once that all sets, we should be able to get the new head in. Lefty?
So they don't cut.
Trev just went to West Marine. We didn't have enough epoxy to fill all of them, so he's going to pick up more epoxy. And somehow some of these are sinking, so they're all supposed to be kind of domed up like that one in the top left, but as you can see, these two at the bottom are not, so we're applying some heat to get it to cure faster, and then we're going to try and refill it again. Buy a boat, they said. Travel the world, they said. It'll be fun, they said. LaCroix. For all your heat gunning needs. It's fresh. For some reason, I just have the Rich Man song from Fiddler on the Roof stuck in my head. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd picky pop. If I were a wealthy man, all day long I'd sit here on my boat, holding up the stupid gun. Actually, rich people probably have people to work on their boats for them. Hey, now, see? I'm the heat gun. I'm the best because I make the epoxy hot and hard. No, drill is the best. I make the hair silky and smooth. Oh, thank God. You're back. Hi. Okay.
So as far back as it can go.
I'm gonna mark these just at least temporarily.
It turns out we got the head installed in the nick of time. We had totally forgotten when we started the project that we had plans to take our parents out on Loki that evening to watch the Monte Foundation fireworks off the Capitola Wharf.
This is a very flattering shot of you.
Good. Oh, great. Wonderful. So happy.
So right now, Lizzie...
Oh, yeah, that's full.
Really full?
Yeah, all the way full.
So, instead of all of the pee and shit water being hidden away, it's now just all on the floor in the bathroom.
At least we know where it is.
It was like full to the very top?
To the brim, yes. So that was 10 uses.
We should get the bigger one.
We'll get the bigger one.
I would say mixed success.
I would say we got it in. People used it. That's great. We now know that we need a pedestal for the...
It's fine. It's, you know, you just need a trial run. I now know how to do it better.
And it's not super weird. Like, people used it and it wasn't... They weren't, like, grossed out by it, so... I think we were trying to get around the fact that the pedestal that we have for the toilet, so the little platform that the toilet sits on, is very shallow, and we kind of thought, oh, well, as long as these brackets, so it has brackets that attach to the floor, we were like, as long as those can screw in, this can stick out a little bit and it'll be fine. But it turns out that this can't stick out at all because it
causes this to have a gap, and then pee leaks on the floor. So we were wrong. We'll do it right now.
A couple of weeks after we shot this video, we did go back and build a platform for the liquids tank using starboard, silicone, and screws. Unfortunately, we forgot to film any of that, except for this one shot of me putting silicone onto the back of the platform to adhere it to the pedestal. Anyway, back to the video. I mean, that's a little bit of a downside that it was full to the brim after a pretty brief evening of having 4 extra people on board.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have a bigger tank.
Is that a gallon? Is that a gallon of milk? Would you say?
Yeah, I'm pretty
sure. I forgot. You're out of touch with humanity. You don't know what a gallon of milk is.
I have no idea what a gallon of milk costs. I haven't drank. Who drinks milk anymore? Nobody drinks milk. But I just wanted to demonstrate that your feet dangle off of the floor.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. What do you say? Action?
Action.
We started Friday evening at like 6 o'clock p.m.?
7.
7?
Yeah.
And started tearing out our old head. Got almost all of it out that night, and then had to come back yesterday, finish taking out the holding tank, which was a bit of a shitty job. We didn't really remember, I think, at the beginning of the weekend that we had planned on like taking people out. So that was a bit of a stress point, but not a big deal. We got it all done, but we did find out that 6 people over the course of an evening fill up the pee jug. We took the old toilet and the old holding tank back to our house because Lizzie wants to sell the used toilet and used holding tank.
I don't know what the market is for a used box of poo.
The poo box.
I think there might be one. We'll see.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
We gotta go home to Eli.
See you next time. Who is it?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
It's like the least funny thing you've said all night.
It was a joke. Who is it? Hello?
But what is...
I don't know.
Does that have to do with your feet dangling? I didn't understand the joke.
I think it was just me on the toilet. That was the joke.
Goodbye.
Bye.